Hello, I'm Lilly Gomm and I've designed a garden on behalf of Switzerland Tourism for this year's RHS Chelsea Flower Show. So to tell you a little bit about the garden, it's inspired by Switzerland's landscapes, its rich culture and sustainable Swiss travel. And we'll be doing that all within the bounds of a 10 by 10 metre garden. At the show this year we'll be sitting within a brand new category which is called the Sanctuary Gardens. This fits our design perfectly because we're not attempting to recreate a piece of the Alps, for instance. It's instead an imaginary personal sanctuary that the owner has made inspired by travels and things that they've seen, plus showcasing how biodiverse the flora of Switzerland is. So last year I was really fortunate to go out to Switzerland in between the lockdowns safely and meet designers and horticulturalists and gardeners and historians and just get as much inspiration for the garden as possible, especially for the plants. I actually went out there and I was asking everyone what's perfect for a May show, what plants scream Switzerland that I have to have in the garden. So everything I was seeing is actually perfect for the rearranged show date. So I've been tweaking my plant list and going back through photos and trying to just change it a little bit so that it still looks Swiss but also Switzerland in the autumn. But interestingly, while I was there I found out that Switzerland doesn't have one particular style of garden, and this is because the climate varies so much across the country. So there are parts that border France and Italy that benefit from a Mediterranean climate, so there are vineyards dotted across the landscape, there are palm trees growing happily, and this was just so different from the instant image of Switzerland that I had when I was approached with this brief, which is, you know, it's the Alps and the alpine meadows and chalets and hiking trails. So I've come to find that it's actually much richer than I previously thought myself. So now my job is to show all of that within one garden at the Chelsea Flower Show. So I've done this by taking features and looking at the materiality and trying to bring that into the garden. So we have these large stones which are like a garden scaled representation of mountains in the landscape that will also look really good with alpine planting against them. And then there's a central water feature that's supposed to make you sit back and remember being beside a lake or by one of the waterfalls on your travels. And then there's this bench, which a bespoke bench we've designed that reflects train tracks and the patterns that they make in the landscape where they cross and then they merge. And this is to highlight Switzerland's ethos towards sustainability, which is really strong for such a small country. So it's so easy to travel by train and anywhere by public transport. And it isn't just the fact that you can travel easily, but normally the worst part of your holiday is getting there, and you're always going to a destination and the journey is the chore. But in Switzerland it's the experience in itself where you have these incredible panoramic views. So that's where I'm trying to bring small elements of that back into the garden. So the person will be sitting back on this bench and just taking in the garden and being able to reflect on those memories. So personally, for this show, I really want to illustrate how you can pack your garden with ideas and make them really reflect you and your personality and things that you may have seen on your travels. Because especially at the moment, we all know how important green space is, and for those that are fortunate to have their own access to it, we can really be creative and play in them. So we'll be showing you a Swiss themed, bit of Swiss themed inspiration for your gardens at home. We're just really looking forward to showing you what we've come up with in September.